Alright, forgot to actually do this. So, here we are with an actual painting update. Now, some of this may look a little bit unchanged, especially this guy. However, you can see now, let's do this like reasonable size, that the detail is actually much cleaner, except for, right there. So I'll touch that up. But for the most part, this top armor plate, or I think the term that's used is carapace, is complete, at least as far as I'm satisfied to go with it. If I think of something else to do, like I might up the color saturation here, touch that up a little bit more too, since I'm going to be clearly touching up some pieces at the back that I totally thought I got, but apparently missed entirely. Yeah, I'll go back and, Jesus, see there. Well, more touch-up needed, but for the most part completed. No other changes going to be made. I did decide to stay the steel color for the bars. Initially, I thought I'd go gold with it, but then I just kind of, when I was thinking about it, felt like it would be too much gold, and wasn't feeling it. I like the steel a lot more. I like the overall color choices. I'm happy with them. Yes, there are some things I certainly could have done better, and I did walk away with some really good lessons learned, like to add water to this black 2.0 before using it, like more than I did, because I did add some, but more than I did. And then it would be multiple thin coats with it to actually get to go on smoothly, but it's fine. Also, to do that last, I did it first thinking that because it is the primary color I'm using for the carapace here, that it would be smart to do that first and then touch it up later. I am realizing now it would have been much better to do these small detailings first and the trim and all that stuff first. Partially because it kind of just makes sense for order of operations, but also because my hand is not super steady, and while I do a couple things to try and help steady it out, it's just, my hands are just not trained into this yet, and probably in a general sense damaged from prior work to the point where they just aren't gonna hold super steady. Maybe they'll improve over time. Definitely hoping so. Not expecting miracles, but I also know that I can do things to mitigate it further. All right. These two pieces are in this state because I completely forgot them. So more details come, obviously, but it's still worth highlighting progress on them. I'm going to do the purple/magenta color in these crevices. And then, like I said, there's going to be something scrolled on here. I will likely do a wash on the scrolling here so that it looks more like paper scrolling. Obviously, even in the scope of like the setting itself, it's not actually scrolling. While that does happen amongst the Imperium, especially, and then I think Chaos also does it too, where they have papers, parchments, whatever, hanging from armor. This is actual armor. There's nothing this is hanging from. It's not, clearly it's supposed to be metal, but then colored to bear a name or something like that. Thinking about doing a nod to Vampire the Masquerade. There's a earthbound demon called Kupala. I think I could fit her name on there. Haven't settled on it yet. Also haven't settled on how to get it on there, because my brushes have become abundantly clear. Cannot do super fine detail like that. Hi, Potato. Say hello. Thank you so much. All right. This guy is done, though. While there is, I don't know if this will be able to pick up, maybe, but probably not. You can kind of see on the, I don't even know what to call this, the helm, the bottom of the helm, that, let's just call it that. There's like a little indented cross or engraved cross. I thought about doing something with that, and then opted for no. I don't want the face to be so busy. I do kind of like it simple like this. There's also like a little pipe or something that comes out next to the trim here that I decided to ignore. I could make it silver / metallic like this. Maybe I will. For the most part, I'm kind of happy with just simple, like the sort of less is more kind of thought going on there. Legs, also nearing a done point. Like you can see on the actual head, I've started to color the hosing, not finished. Same thing with the legs. There's some hoses here that I've started to color, not finished. I'm going to do some brighter color like this orange that I have sitting back here as a dry brush to sort of highlight the ridges and stuff to give it more color depth. Also, you can see that I've done the purple in anything that seemed like it was, I guess, powered would be the notion I'm going for. Like the idea of there's a supernatural power that's driving the engine rather than a conventional power source is kind of the notion behind doing this purple color to begin with. Whatever. It's not hokey within the settings, so I'm happy enough with that, and I also just kind of like the color as something to draw out the other thing, like to pop out and give more detail and life to what's going on here. There's also these other hoses. I might color those too. Maybe go for a green or something like that. Just to have some other little color, which sort of actually is a great transition onto the sides here. So you can see that there are hoses and stuff here. However, you can also see these mounting areas. Those are going to have things put on them. While I did absolutely forget them for base coating for literally every step of this operation, I do see them there. I have remembered them before I got too far. Actually, I remember them just after I started applying glue to these little knobbies to put the carapace armor on top. I'm like, oh wait, I'm going to have a hell of a time getting those mounts on. So anyway, I have remembered them because of where they're going to sit. They're basically going to cover this detail, so I'm going to skip it. Not really out of the sense of being lazy, but there's like dug in pro hobbyist, and then there's me. While I do seek to improve and stuff, this seems like more trouble than it is worth at all, because literally no one will ever see it, and only I will know it's there, to a point where it is just not worth the time or effort. So I'm going to leave that stuff alone. This is pretty much good to go. Like I said, I'm not going gold on the exhaust here. I did think it over, but I just feel like it's too much gold coming out the top, and I do want to have something that distinguishes the carapace and the trim from the body. That's it. Also, kind of proud of this. See, I actually got in there. Not as hard as I thought it would be. This does go back to the steady hand thing. Like, this took a lot of focus and a lot of patience to actually get in there without just creating a mess. I'm proud of myself for doing it. I'm not thrilled about doing that more. So that's another reason to avoid fine details. Like, you can see stuff back in there too that literally you'll never see, even though everything that's going on here will be able to come off. Like this little circular bit here, this is not actually part of the model. That's a tiny magnet, a 3mm magnet that you can see on the back here, aligns with that, and boom, goes on there to hold that on there. So it's removable, not because there's any impressive detail under there, but I don't know, kind of cool. Maybe I will run it sometimes without the little helmet on, because it's kind of a cool aesthetic. Whatever. And then this guy will, there we go. This guy will sit on top there. So again, you won't see the detail back there at all. I might glue this down too when I finally said and done. Yeah, there's not really a huge reason to have that come off, because it just reveals this sloppy, knobby thing that I am not. It's just not something I want to show off. It's weird looking. It's clearly identifying as a model kit versus, allowing for that, mind's eye theater slash, what is that? There's a term for it, some sort of narrative imagination of this as actually being a real machine, that kind of thing. I don't know if that made any sense, just rambling now. But anyway, it just very, very much does not fit. I could have done things to change that. I didn't do them. Here we are. Maybe in the future, because this night really has made me want to get another one. There's a larger one that I'm planning to get, a Castellan, I think it's called, or a Dominus, one of the two. Slightly bigger, but it's cool looking, and it's really kind of put me onto this sort of night kind of craving. At least one more. I might get, there's a box set that I really am trying to avoid buying on impulse, so I'm kind of waiting until after the holidays. And I know that there's one, or was one nearby me a couple weeks ago. It might still be there because it's also not particularly cheap, but it comes with a bunch of little smaller guys too. And while I certainly don't need more models, more of these guys is kind of tickling me, so I might do it. Anyway, let's do a wider shot here. You can see it's really starting to come together. Really happy with it. Probably be done. I'm looking to finish it either before Christmas Day or on Christmas Day, and have it be really in a place where I can walk away from it and go, yeah, I'm happy and it's done. Oh, also, these guys, here we go. Sorry. This is the top. So it's like that. And the shoulder pad. Again, some purple in there. These shoulder pads are where I actually really felt it the most about how I had gone too thick on the initial black coating. I really wiped out some of the details. If I had come in with this black afterwards, not only would I have not had to lay down white first in order for the purple to actually show up, but I would have still had more details that I could have worked with. Like I said, lessons learned, and I don't hate it at all. I'm not even angry or sad at it. It's just things that I noticed as I went. So yeah, really kind of also part of the inspiration for why I want to get the Dominus / Castellan pattern model, whatever you want to call it, the kit, to have a redo, but also have the redo be on a grander version where I have all these things that I've learned from experience. All right, super long video, at least compared to what I've normally done. Very rambly, but also I think full of good stuff. Also, I got to do something with the base. I'm working that out. Like, I'm happy with doing the terrain features on that, but the base itself, I think I might get like corkboard or something to build that up. Very up in the air right this moment. So I guess the night won't be completely done because the base certainly won't be done by then, but the model itself will be done, and I'll go from there. Alrighty, that's what I got.